This episode is sponsored by Personal Revolution Podcast. Have you been stuck inside wondering how to take charge of your life? Is there something you want to do but haven't been able to do yet? In Personal Revolution, best-selling author and life coach Alison Task helps you take control of your life with inspiration and humor so that you can move from where you are right now to where you want to be and have fun doing it. It's like having a personal coach whispering in your ear. This 3-month podcast course, along with bonus episodes each month, will help you create a clear vision for what you want out of life, remove the frustrating blocks that are holding you back, develop a detailed action plan that will drive you to where you want to be, and build a network that will help you create your future. The Personal Revolution podcast comes with a personal workbook and real-time access to a community of other change makers working toward their goal with positivity, possibility, and momentum. And for a limited time, all of this is available to you for free. Download the Himalaya app in your app store, look up Personal Revolution, and enter promo code REVOLUTION at checkout to get your first month absolutely free. If you're ready to go after a better life, you are ready for Personal Revolution.
Because gratitude helps people to open their hearts and to love and to be less judgmental. And when you love, with no judgment, you just love, well, then your whole body of life is one of gratitude, and you attract into your life without even having to write it down as a goal or think about it, everything that is for your highest divine good. And you see the divine in everybody.
Welcome to the Gratitude Podcast on www.georgianbenta.com, where you'll hear a new story each week that will inspire more gratitude in your own life. Our mission is to inspire 100,000 people to discover how to feel gratitude and live a happy life through the amazing life stories of our successful guests and their actionable tips. And now, the host of our podcast, Georgian Benta.
Hi, Gratitude Seeker. Welcome to a new episode of the Gratitude Podcast. Today, I'm really excited because we have an amazing guest with us. And she's multi-talented and she has been doing some amazing things in this world. And she has been working with some pretty amazing people as well. Her name is Michele Blood, and she went from being a rock singer in Australia to having a near-fatal car accident and healing herself through the power of positive affirmation music. And not only that, but she created some amazing songs, and she has been working with Bob Proctor, and she has been sharing the stage with Dr. Dyer, Louise Hay, Dr. Deepak Chopra, and many other amazing positive teachers. And I'm really happy to have her here with us to talk about her story and also her new book. Michele, welcome to the Gratitude Podcast.
Thank you, Georgian. I am grateful to be here with you today.
Amazing.
In this moment.
I love that. So, let us know a little bit more about you. Maybe also go into that stage in your life where you had that accident and how that changed your vision of life and maybe even your perspective on gratitude.
That's a really great question, because people have asked me over the years, what are you most grateful for? And I say, my car accident. And they're like, excuse me? Oh. How can you be grateful for that? Because that was the turning point. That was the epiphany that woke up my spirit to my true purpose in this life. Before this car accident, I was singing since the age of 5 on TV. I had rock bands and, medium success in Australia. We worked every night for years and years. Audiences of, between 2,000 and 4,000 every night. And I loved my life. I loved being a singer. I loved my bands. Very tough life, especially for a female in Australia. But still, I loved it. I loved to sing. I always loved to do something to make the audience happy. And we were good. We were good at it and we loved it. And then on my way home from, Australia's so big and not many people. So sometimes it's 15 to 17 hour drive in between gigs. And the driver, we had swapped over, and we all took, turns with the truck and all the cars with all the equipment. And the driver that was driving in the truck that I was in with all the equipment in the back, he fell asleep. He just fell asleep, and we hit this quite a big telephone pole, and all the equipment smashed into me. He was fine. So I don't want everyone to turn their stomachs, but I had massive internal bleeding and splintered bones, and my hip was completely split. Fractures in my back, my pelvis was completely smashed. So I was in hospital for months and months. The longest operation was 17 hours. The shortest one was 7 hours. And I thought I wanted to kill myself, because I thought if I couldn't walk again or walk properly, what was I going to do? I dance on stage. I do all these crazy stunts while I'm singing, cartwheels and God knows what. And so I felt for the first time in my life suicidal. And I had many people bring in lots of positive books and tapes and things. And I had no idea about positive thinking. I'd never been to a seminar. I'd never read a book about positive thinking, because I always felt I was a positive person. I had no need to go to those things. But then somebody gave me an audio book of Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. And what was a rock singer in her early 20s doing, listening to that? I couldn't move, so I couldn't turn it off to start with. Someone forced me to listen to it. Yeah, kill them. Anyway. But something happened. I had an epiphany when Napoleon Hill said he healed his son. His son was born with no ears. And he would go in and speak what he said, auto-suggestion, which we now know are affirmations, into his son, this baby's ear every single night. You can hear perfectly. You are a great man. As this kid's growing up, he starts being able to hear a little bit. Napoleon Hill refuses to put him in a hearing aid school, or they didn't even have hearing aids, a school for the people that can't hear, and put him in a normal school. And it was very, very challenging for the child, but he kept doing this auto-suggestion. Long story, very, very short. Napoleon Hill's son ended up being this huge conglomerate in the hearing aid industry, put all of this money into it, made a lot of money from it, and could in the end hear 100% through the hearing aid, but he was able to hear 50% before the hearing aids were invented. And I thought, well, if that can happen, I can heal myself. I just had this faith, this epiphany, this satori. And so I said, okay, I'm a singer-songwriter. I'm going to do these affirmations to music, because I had attempted, Georgian, to actually speak the affirmations. I would say, I am healed. I know I am. I love myself. I am my friend. Because I had to state, Napoleon said, what you want as if it's actually happened. I am healed. I wasn't. So I said, I am healed. I love myself. I didn't love myself, that's for sure, because I wanted to kill myself. And the healing light of the universe surrounds me. I am healed. I didn't know what the healing light was, but apparently someone said it was a good thing. And it didn't work. I would say it over and over again, and I was still in pain. And then I realized it's not going into my subconscious mind. He said it's got to be implanted into the subconscious mind as a seed to grow into a tree of truth. So you manifest that thing that you are affirming. So I just started singing it. I just started singing, I am healed, I know I am. I love myself, I am my friend. And so a very, very long story. I kept doing these singing affirmations for myself. A couple of musician friends of mine helped add the music to it. I listened to them all the time. I became a miracle girl. People in Australia found out about me in the media, and then I was asked to record these and record more of them for the public. So I started recording more and more these affirmation songs to pop music. And then I was asked to share the stage with Deepak Chopra, Wayne Dyer, Stuart Wilde, Bob Proctor, all of these people. And they would have me sing in between all of these speakers to these huge audiences all over Australia. And then Bob Proctor, who was one of the teachers of The Secret, when I was touring with him, he said, this is amazing. This is all we all teach. Affirmations, auto-suggestion, but with music, with pop music. And he ended up taking me all over the world to work with him, writing lyrics and doing songs with me. We ended up doing tons of products together, and all of his audio programs that the public listen to now, because he's hugely famous in the world now, Bob Proctor, all have my songs on them, me singing all those songs. So it really works, and it's been proven that it works 300 times faster than just saying your affirmations. So affirmation power is what we call MusiVation. We titled it MusiVation, but I still like to call it affirmation power with music. And that is how I ended up working all over the world with all of these wonderful people and doing what I do now.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And in many of the episodes of the Gratitude podcast, I also talk about how impactful the music that we listen to is. And for instance, all of us know many more lyrics maybe than we would like to from different kinds of songs. And many times we just repeat them on and on because, of course, they get repeated in our environment quite a lot in different places that we go, on the radio, and we're stuck with them, and they're not always the most positive. Like, if we become aware of what we are listening to, many times they aren't uplifting at all. And I think it's amazing, the work that you're doing, and the fact that we have this option, to listen to something else, to listen to something uplifting, and to get those affirmation inside of us in a really beautiful and entertaining way.
Yeah, and perhaps at the end of the podcast, you can, add one of the songs so that people can listen to it. I think I should give your audience a few free songs, actually. I think I shall do that for sure. And yes, isn't it amazing when someone's got the blues, they listen to the blues and then they feel worse? Who knew?
Yeah.
But people can change the lyrics to any music. I mean, you could feel instantly shifting your mind from negative to positive by just putting on some Casey and the Sunshine Band. Do a little dance, make a little love, get down tonight. Ow! Or what about James Brown, the most positive affirmation song in the world? I feel good. Na, 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 na. I knew that I would. Yow! I feel good, and I knew that I would. I mean, how positive is that? I love that.
Exactly.
God bless you, James Brown.
Yeah, and that's so powerful, because it can really change our mood. But to be honest, like, I think there is a place for different kinds of states and different kinds of music, and I don't think that it's always the best option to just go for the most positive music that you can find. Sometimes it's, in my opinion, it's okay to listen to some things that resonate with how you're feeling in that moment, even if it's not very positive. But the main focus and the balance, I think it's very important to go for these kinds of positive affirmations. And I love yours about money, that it's so powerful, and it sticks with you. And I ended up thinking about it and re-listening to it in my brain, it was playing.
Yeah, millions of people have downloaded the Magnet to Money song. I was listening to Reverend Ike many, many years ago, just after my car accident, when I was starting to sing again, get out there again. And someone gave me a tape of Reverend Ike, this minister in New York, African-American minister. And I heard him go, I'm a magnet. I want everybody out there to say, I'm a magnet to money. Money, money loves me. Money loves to be around me and succulate. And he said, I'm not black, I'm green. And I'm like, who is this dude? I mean, especially Australians, you know, you don't talk about prosperity and money. You know, it's like, isn't that sinful? You know, it's like wanting too much. But the way he did it, it was so freeing. I went straight home and wrote the Magnet to Money song, sent it on a cassette, found out where he was in New York, got a letter back from him saying he loves it. He's playing it at the church. And so when you see my CDs, you see it saying, you know, dedicated to Reverend Ike. He just a few years ago, he left the body, and just before he did, I did a wonderful webinar with him, which you can get on one of my websites for free and listen to him. But I think, you know, with the affirmation songs, it's about something specific. So if someone said, okay, I find I'm not persistent, I give up too easily, well, then they listen to the persistence song. You know, I persist until I succeed. I am now breaking down all barriers in my way. Persistence, the song I wrote with Bob Proctor. So then you're listening for a specific reason, because the weaknesses that you have can be strengthened when you overcome. It's very important to know where our weaknesses are so we can strengthen them by affirming the opposite. So many people will not admit to what they're weak about. Oh, it's not my fault. It's the economy. It's this, it's that. It's the way I was brought up. Instead of saying, okay, well, that has affected me, but how about I do something about it? How about I change my mindset and I become something different than all the family members that have just bought into the same, what I call a crime of, you know, just staying the same generation after generation. So, I mean, there was one lady I met who wanted to be a piano player, and she'd never done it, but she hated being an accountant. And I said, just give up TV, give up pizza, and just start practicing piano. When all those things that you get, within 2 years, she was playing at the Regent Hotel in Sydney Harbour. Wow. In the lobby. And she changed her life. She hated it being an accountant. She lost about 150 pounds. I mean, you just have to make a decision. And we have a song called Decision. And it helps you make a decision. We have a song about risk. And it helps you jump over that terror barrier when you're going into doing something that you haven't done before. So that you, like, I love the way Bob Proctor says it, you may feel fear, but do it anyway. Just jump over that terror barrier. And we have this amazing community of people from all over the world. And we have put together this beautiful place where people come on live streams and webinars every month. And we do meditation practice. I send people light transmissions. I help people to find out what their true purpose is. And if anyone wants to have a look at the free videos there, you just go to themysticalexperience.com. We've got doctors, lawyers, musicians, gurus, you name it, from all walks of life. And we all come together and experience what can be done and talk about it. And it's very important that people find their own community. It doesn't mean in where you live, but like-minded people who also will uplift you, will support you, you can be honest with, that don't judge you. That's something that's extremely important. And I say to people, always be grateful. Always be grateful. Because when you're grateful, you have more to be grateful for. I don't care if it's the fact that you've got a toilet in your home and a shower. You are living better than kings of the past. You know, everyone's got something to be grateful for. I love what the Buddha said. The Buddha said, let us rise up and be thankful. For if we didn't learn a lot today, at least we learned a little. And if we didn't learn a little, at least we didn't get sick. And if we got sick, at least we didn't die. So let us be thankful. And I always say, the more you're grateful, the more you have to be grateful for. So write something down every day. So I am thankful, Georgian, that you have started this wonderful podcast for people to understand the power of gratitude. It's one of the most important things for someone who wants to have success or healing or anything in their life is to be grateful.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And this has been my experience as well. And it's one of the reasons why I started this podcast. But I don't remember you having a song about gratitude. Do you?
Yes, I have I think I've got 3 songs about gratitude.
Really?
They're not on those particular albums, so I will send them to you. One is all the things that you're grateful for. The sky, I mean, it just goes on and on and on. It's a ballad. Just me
Oh,
and
that's awesome.
just me and a piano. So I will make sure that we send that to you and you can play it. It's a beautiful gratitude song.
Yeah, that would be great. So I could include it in the episode?
Yeah, absolutely. And I've got another one that I did called The Song of Freedom, which is all about gratitude. For when the Russian wall came down, I wrote that.
Wonderful.
You were probably in diapers at the time.
Yeah, most probably. Yeah, that's amazing. That's amazing. How, by the way, from this point of view, how has gratitude evolved in your life? I'm sure for me, even in the last, I don't know, 5 years, I've been doing the podcast now since 2016, and gratitude has evolved quite a lot for me. How has it evolved for you?
Well, every moment of my life, I am grateful. It just happens naturally now. My new book, The Magic of Affirmation Power, I speak about all the things I'm grateful for and what happened in my life for me to be grateful. I wrote that book many, many years ago. And so many people had said, maybe you could do a rewrite so people can know your story. Because what happened with being grateful, every day writing down being grateful and doing the music, the positive music and sharing that with others, I had more and more to be grateful for. It was, to the point where I was just in love with life, in love with God, searching though for God. That was the one thing I couldn't quite get to because I had this heart glow and I was in love with what people called God, love. And eventually I found a teacher who's enlightened, awakened, who took me on as a student for many years, and then my Kundalini awakened. And once your Kundalini awakens, there's no words to describe what your life is like. The light is on forever. You are never in the darkness again. Every moment you just live gratitude because you love. Because gratitude helps people to open their hearts and to love and to be less judgmental. And when you love with no judgment, you just love, well, then your whole body of life is one of gratitude. And you attract into your life without even having to write it down as a goal or think about it, everything that is for your highest divine good. And you see the divine in everybody. So with my new book, what I actually did was wrote about a little bit about my journey since the affirmations, because the affirmations and gratitude, they lift your frequency. You have a higher, or what I call a faster vibratory frequency. And when you have a faster frequency, well, then more and more good comes into your life. You're more aware, you're awake. You can see opportunities that you couldn't see before. You start resonating with higher vibrational people. You have compassion. You never feel sorry for anyone again. You feel what they feel. You have compassion. You can see what's going on and you can uplift them just with a smile. And I feel that it's really important for people to tithe and to give and be generous and to have a generous heart and to not complain. Gratitude helps people to stop complaining about their lives. The minute I say to people that you're complaining, you're just afraid of something that you're going to lose that you may have, or you're afraid of not getting something you want. Instead, shift it and say what you're grateful for right now. Don't complain anymore. Stop complaining. Be grateful. And in the book, I've actually put a number of free products, about $100 worth of extra free products that are some of my best-selling songs and visualization, meditation techniques and audio programs. So, but with your audience, if they get the ebook, well, and they email me, I will send them an extra $50 worth of, oh no, actually what I'll give them is New Paradigms, which is a 6 CD program on MP3s that Bob Proctor and I did, which cover
Whoa.
gratitude. It covers gratitude, action, persistence, goal setting, all the songs. It's got so much amazing stuff on it. And all they have to do is go, they just go to the magicofAffirmationpower.com. And once they've bought the ebook, they just email it's team, TEAM, at themysticalexperience.com. Is that what it is? Team at themysticalexperience.com, and just put your name in the subject line and that they've purchased the book, and we will send them all these extra things. And I will make sure that I give all of that to you as well, Georgian. And of course, I'll make sure that our lovely Trevor sends you the gratitude song.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I was wondering if you could share with us like the most profound moment of gratitude that you lived. Like, when did you feel like at the highest and most profound the gratitude?
When I went through the Stargate, when my Kundalini awakened, I was crying my eyes out in gratitude. I had at last experienced oneness with the divine light, and there is no other higher thing that you can experience in life. That's what we're here for. Everyone has the potential to awaken. And after years and years of meditation practice and positive thinking and gratitude, I was gifted the greatest gift that everyone can have, to have my Kundalini awakened. And the gratitude you feel when you begin to have no more fear. You have this deep love for all of mankind, for all nature, for everyone and everything. You are just crying without even realizing it. In gratitude, it's love. That was the moment.
That's amazing. And I could really feel probably a little part of how it felt for you, but it's really beautiful that while you were talking about it, you were also able to get us to have a glimpse of that and how it is and how it felt. And what I think it's very interesting is that it's not something from the outside. It's something that was from within that happened, and you were able to have this gratitude, like for not for something in particular, but just for the sake of the feeling, right?
Yeah, it's just it overwhelms you, and that's what you want. But of course, the first thing I was grateful for was my car accident. So, I mean, if you look at those two things that I'm most grateful for, it's quite an interesting journey. You know, the car accident took me to my awakening. So, I mean, we've got to understand that no matter what challenges that we go through in life or what's happening, it's always going to be for our highest divine good. We learn. When we have something happen, it makes us wake up. It makes us more aware of life, to be grateful for life, to be grateful for everything. People just take things for granted. It's not their fault that they take them for granted, but they do. It's like most people don't pray or want to meditate or do anything until, they're in trouble or the loved one's in trouble. And most people just really get into a high vibration if someone gives them something that they wanted, like an outside thing. It never happens that way. How we manifest things into our experience, beautiful people, maybe prosperity or whatever it is someone wants to achieve, is through being grateful to start with, is through having a positive attitude, and that takes time. It's not easy. But gratitude and what you're doing is, I believe, the first step on the ladder to evolving.
That's amazing. I definitely resonate with that, and I think it's a really powerful perspective, and I'm sure that our listeners will be we'll be thinking about this, and we'll be meditating on this idea as well. So we are nearing the end of our time together, and I wanted to ask you if you want to share, if you want to mention a few people in your life that you're grateful for and why.
Oh, my goodness. Have you got an extra 2 years? The people
the short version, if you can.
Okay, the short version. Well, first of all, I'm going to say Kundalini, who doesn't teach now, but she was my enlightened teacher. Extremely grateful for all the light she transmitted to me, which is very hard to meditate and get that much light on your own. So I'm extremely grateful to her with all of my being. To John and Dyer, who works with us as a partner in putting all the workshops together, who introduced me to Kundalini. He is just the funniest and loveliest person, and many of the Mystical Experience family from the mysticalexperience.com know him and know his sense of humor. To Trevor Rogers, who's been working with me for about 18 years now, and who puts together, looks after the customer care as family. He's just beautiful to everybody. To Dyer and Trivedi, one of my closest friends. She's like a sister. She's just always there for me. For Lou Pies, for, oh my goodness, it just goes on and on. For my parents for having me. To Napoleon Hill, yes, hello. The author of Think and Grow Rich. Bob Proctor. Oh gosh, it just goes on and on. To my cats, who I just find are the most beautiful souls. To Willie, the one-eyed Willie dog in the neighborhood, the happiest, sweetest dog in the world. And for this moment, I'm grateful for this moment, for life.
Yeah, exactly. I feel the same.
And as the people who win an Oscar say, I'd like to thank God first. But I mean it.
That's true. And I think you've hit on something really important, that it's very important and nice to be grateful for other people, and to know that you are where you are because and thanks to many people that you've interacted with. But it's also important to appreciate ourselves and our efforts and the good things that we were able to do and to get to where we are today, isn't it?
Absolutely, 100 million %.
That's amazing. So thank you so much for being here with us. Let us know once again where we can find your gifts, and where can our audience get in touch with you?
Yeah, you can go to, thank you, Georgian, again, thank you, The Magic of Affirmation Power book.com, or is it just The Magic of Affirmation Power? Which one is it? Just tell me. The Magic of Affirmation Power.com. You can get the audio book or the ebook. If you do get them, you just email team, TEAM, at themysticalexperience.com. Just put Georgian's Gratitude Podcast in the subject, and we will immediately send you New Paradigms by myself and Bob Proctor, and lots and lots of the music. And in the book, the ebook itself, we already give away over $100 worth of extra products, including visualization, audio program, lots of songs, the gratitude daily list book, lots of things we just give away with that.
Awesome. That's very generous. And thank you so much for your beautiful energy, for sharing the joy and the gratitude and all of the beautiful feelings that you're sharing with the world. Thank you so much.
And the song that I'll be giving you is called Joy of Living, and that's all about gratitude. And you are just a skadoodle bop of joy, and I love what you're doing. I love you. Thank you for what you're doing, Georgian. Good on you, mate, as we say in Australia. Good on you.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Michelle.
More love.
This is now my is now my perfect day. This 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 is now my perfect day.
Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing.
This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day.
Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right thinking, filled with perfect knowing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right thinking, filled with perfect knowing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right thinking, filled with perfect knowing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right thinking, filled with perfect knowing.
This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day.
Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting. Cradled in the arms of divine inspiration, I see the divine in everyone I'm meeting.
This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day. This is now my perfect day.
Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing. Perfect in every way, perfect in every way. Filled with right action, filled with perfect timing.
This is now my perfect day.
Perfect,
This is now my perfect day.
so perfect,
This is now my perfect day.
oh, so
This
perfect.
is
Hey, Gratitude Seeker, thank you so much for taking the time to listen to this interview. I really appreciate it. And if you could think of one person that would also benefit from it, share it with them. It might actually be the inspiration that they need to make their day or maybe even their life much better. Thank you so much once again. This has been Georgian Benta. Don't forget to keep seeking and spreading gratitude.